Well, hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Colin here. I've got a whiskey here that I've never really heard of. I saw it at the liquor store, and it's kind of a cool bottle. So I thought I'd check it out. And I'm not too sure what to expect, but that's the fun of it all, isn't it? So I hope you guys got a dram yourselves, and you can enjoy something in the background here. So this is called Antiquity Blue, and it is it says ultra premium whiskey, a blend of imported Scotch, Indian malts, and finest Indian grain spirits. It is, I believe, 42%, it said. Yeah, 42.8% alcohol volume. And it's got a little bit of write-up here on the box. So what it's saying here is, the Antiquity Blue double-headed heron celebrates our dedication to authentic traditions of whiskey making. Its gaze, fixed on both the past and future, signifies our promise to always bring a timeless whiskey experience to today's world. Antiquity Blue has a unique and enduring character, Scottish at heart, and a true ode to the abiding art of whiskey making. Our whiskey includes Scotch from the Cameron Bridge Distillery, where grain-based whiskey making was pioneered in 1830. Today, master blender Craig Wallace is a custodian of this timeless tradition of grain distillation, and he epitomizes with Antiquity Blue. Epitomizes with Antiquity Blue. The malt is distilled in authentic copper pot stills, aged in American oak casks, and blended with the finest Indian grain spirit. True to its name, the blend has a rich, inviting color inspired by the hue of Antiquity gold. The pronounced malt and rich wood aroma is supplemented with a hint of peat and heather to yield a velvety, smooth finish. So, and it looks like it's got some international acclaim, it says here. International Wine and Spirit Competition, IWSC 2016, it got a silver. And the International Whiskey Competition 2016, first place, Best Indian Whiskey. So, and if I recall, I got this for a pretty darn good price. Can't remember exactly what it was, but it was relatively reasonable price. So, in fact, it kind of surprised me how low it was, just because the bottle looked cool, no other reason. But so let's take a look at what we got here. Okay, a screw-off cap with one of these old-fashioned stoppers here. Let's get a feeling for this sucker. Like I said, around 42.8%, I believe it was. And yeah, it is a cool little bottle, though, isn't it, folks? I would say so. So let's see what it smells like on the nose here first. Yeah, fairly kind of a fairly sweet on the nose. A light sweet with kind of a hint of, maybe a slight hint of peat. Yeah, and I am getting, I have had a Rampur, which is a Rampur. I think it is an Indian whiskey I've reviewed on the channel before. I really like that Indian whiskey. Also, trying to think of another one or two. And it kind of getting a little bit of similarities here. Kind of sometimes a bit of a velvety, almost waxy, plasticky. But when I say that on the channel before, I like a waxiness to whiskeys. So when I say that, I'm saying that as a compliment. I'm getting a little bit of that on the nose here. Cheers, folks. Let's see what this tastes like. You know what? Fairly subtle, easy drinking. Very smooth, as you might say, or not really powerful on the palate. But as I'm letting the first sip settle in, a little bit of spice, a little bit of heat actually on the finish. The first half of the sip goes in a little bit sweet and light. There's a little less texture or kind of a thickness in the liquid than what it smelled like. Sometimes find on the nose, you can almost get a little bit of a sense that it's gonna be maybe a little bit of a thicker liquid, and in this case I kind of had that expectation just from the smell, but then it was a little bit thinner than I expected, but not overly thin. Let's have another sip. I'm almost getting maybe a bit of a light graham cracker, almost a little bit of a cookie crumble thing going on. Kind of settles into the mouth. Yeah, and so really a little bit more thickness there in the second sip, in a good way. Kind of coats the mouth fairly nicely. But it's a little bit sweet. Trying to pick up a little bit of the peat and heather that they talked about. Maybe a slight bit there. I've been drinking a bit more heavily peated scotches lately, so I'm not picking up as much as I might expect. But generally, kind of a nice, simple, easygoing, not extremely eventful on the first half of the sip, but it's got kind of a nice flavor to it. It's light, it's sweet, decent texture, and a little bit of a peppery, heated finish. So certainly something that is sort of nice. I gotta say, I can't really complain about this one bit. You know, if you're looking for something that's fairly subtle, maybe introduce somebody to a blended whiskey. And it's kind of an interesting combination, I guess, between some Scotch and some Indian whiskey, because I'm getting a little bit of both those. So it's kind of a nice little combination. And yeah, I mean, for 42.8%, it's you know, just kind of got a nice, easygoing you know, flavor to it, and you know, it's not extremely harsh. Anyways, folks, I thought I'd just throw that out there and say cheers, and hope you guys are enjoying the jam yourselves tonight, and see you again soon, everybody.